to Sacred Light of Crystals. I'm Crystal Light 33, hosting the space. And our wonderful guest today is Maiaya Vale.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
And me and Maiaya have connected for a few years now, on and off, talking about spirituality, crystals, and just other healing practices as well. And we're going to dive into a little bit about crystal grids and the ways that we utilize crystals in our everyday life. And what I was about to dive into right here was a crystal grid that I made, I think back in 2014 or 15. It was one of my first crystal grids I'd ever made. And I made it with the intention of money abundance and financial manifestation. So what I did was I used the chakra pyramids that I had received for Christmas that year. And kind of just, so when I lay out the stones, I don't exactly think about where I'm putting them, so to say. It's more of kind of where my energy and spirit draws to place them. And then I kind of just place them where my hand gets drawn to. And then typically it creates like a pattern or some type of symmetry. And then I added the 2 silver angel wings on the outside for angelic guidance. And then down at the bottom, I was looking online at money crystal grids, and I came across the idea of taking 6 quarters and then you kind of place them on top of each other in a sacred geometry pattern. Mm-hmm. And that's supposed to magnetize and draw in more money.
I love that. That's super powerful with the angel wings on the side and then how you layered the coins. Yeah, wow. For your first one, that's super powerful. I love how you were intuitively drawn to it, right away, and just like letting, your guides guide you and your spirit and your higher self to say, okay, like this is what's going to come out of it. And then to be able to see what it makes at the end is so beautiful.
Yeah, and typically like with any of my crystal grids, that's what I do. I usually do guidance and just spiritual flow with it. I don't typically think about where I'm placing them. And it's pretty awesome. I've had crystal grids like, let me see. Not exactly like yours, but we'll get to that. There we go. Okay.
That's so cool.
Now this one, this was back. This is when I was in a relationship back in like 2015 as well, and the whole intention of this grid was to do basically a chakra balance. And if you look from what would be considered, I guess, the left, right here, I started with the crown and then went down the third eye, and then you got throat, then you got heart, and then solar plexus, sacral, root. And I believe actually this bottom one right here, which is petrified wood, is for the earth star. And then this one up here is for the soul star chakra. So that was a chakra balance grid that I had placed the intentions of.
And what about the ones in the corner there?
Right here?
Yep.
So those are eggs. Well, not like actual eggs, but like they're egg-shaped gemstones. Mm-hmm. I don't remember what gemstones they were, but this was just kind of like a, I want to say water, elemental, ocean kind of setup over here.
I feel that. I feel that's, I just think that's really interesting how that is there. And then this, it gives me like, like you said, like elemental and earthy and like combined with like the chakras. And yeah, I don't know. I really like that.
Thank you, thank you. Yep. So then this one right here, oof, this is one of my favorites. This one's very it's like very extraterrestrial energy, like
Mm-hmm.
almost like a kind of like serious energy.
Those blue stones are powerful. Is that kyanite on the side?
Yeah, so what I have here is blue kyanite pieces all around, and you know sacred geometry formation, and then I have nothing but like extraterrestrial and higher dimensional stones. So like out here we got little pieces of amethyst for manifestation and like intuitive energy. Amethyst right there on the bottom and the top. Right here on this left is a little container of small pieces of moonstone.
Mm.
And then over here on the right is the infinite stone.
Mm. Yeah, I like this one. This one, like the kyanite on the side. I just feel like every time I see like the kyanite on the side, I say zoom, 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 like just like beams of light just like shooting out. Like
Yeah,
every that's
and blue
cool.
kinetics go with protection too, so it's got like that protection energy around it.
Yeah, that's powerful.
So then just to wrap up this grid, right here we have tektite,
Mm.
which comes from a meteorite. And then over here, I believe that is a selenite, I
Yeah.
believe.
Like,
And then up here on the top is actually angel aura dambarite.
oh wow.
Can't really see it too well, but it is a beauty. It's just full of rainbow spectrums and all that. Oh yeah, and then in the center right here is a sugarlight.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. It was hard to see. I wasn't sure if that was like lapis lazuli or oh, the one at the top. I really like that one. Now that I
Oh
zoom
yeah,
in, yeah, that's really nice.
that was one of my favorite pieces. The rainbow aura in it was just so beautiful.
Yeah, super extraterrestrial vibes. This is cool too. I need to get a table so I can do like big ones like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, look at the pattern of that table.
And the shape of the table and then the
Uh,
wood adds to it.
yeah, it was a nice table, that's for sure. That was like the table that I had in the beginning of my awakening.
Wow.
Um, so right here, what I did was I did a chakra grid, and then next to the chakra grid was a tree of life,
Mm,
and then all around it I have Palo Santo sticks protecting it.
that's a good idea. I hadn't thought of that. What year did you do this one?
Yeah, I would use sage and Palo. This is the same time period. This is like 2000 and probably 2015,
Okay.
2016.
What is what's the big one in the middle of the chakra? What stone is there?
So this like white with a little bit of what would be green right here is quartz
Mhm.
with watermelon tourmaline.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's
really
super
yeah,
powerful. Big raw chunk from I believe I want to say Brazil.
hmm
Really good heart chakra, so that's for sure. I just remember like laying down and just placing that thing in the center of my chest, and wow,
the bliss vibes.
yeah. So that's a few of my crystal grids and my different purposes for them. And the tree of life, I'm not sure if people are too familiar with the tree of life's actual like energy purpose, but it really brings like, it's kind of like a balance of energy to wherever you place it. It's hard to describe it really. But I've been paying attention to some of your posts, and I've been seeing your crystal grids. For example, this was the equinox one, right?
Yeah, that was. That's why I used the heart stone, the one shaped like a heart.
Yeah. So would you like to kind of share with us like your intention behind it, and you know why you use certain stones?
Yeah, so that one was for the spring equinox. I think I did it the day of. And I noticed a lot of people, like with the solar flares and everything like that, were having just going through a lot of changes. And so, like, sometimes, like, actually, most of the time, I do grids for like the collective and like people and, in my circle as well. And then I'll do like, separate grids for myself. This one was more of a collective one. And I love adding the flowers and the leaves as like an extra element to it and just bringing that vibration of like the flowers and the plant life, connecting it with like the crystals. I honestly think like the crystals love it, like when they're like next to flowers and stuff, like and like like when they're naturally, growing. And then yeah, so I used the heart, and that's blue aragonite in the middle, and there's different colors and of aragonite. But that blue one, I like the blue using the kyanite and the calcite because, and the clear quartz with that to really open up and clear the channels of like the heart. So we have a better channel to receive and to give with and clear any blockages. And the spring equinox, just drawing that and expanding on that. And then the amethyst is for, like love and spirituality for me. And then on the grid of like the leaves and kind of just brings it all together. So yeah, and then I have the quartz in the four directions as well. So calling on like the four directions and yeah, something simple. I go into it intuitively with picking the crystals and then it kind of just flows and works itself out. I believe there's also, if I zoom in, there's a little bit of rose quartz. It's double terminated. So the points, can direct more of like concentrated energy. And yeah, and then the amethyst points are kind of pointing outwards too. So it's more of like sending that energy outwards rather than like keeping it contained and inwards within the grid. And then I also like to use like a vogel. So it's pointed on both sides. And so I will tap the middle of the stone and then go outwards. And then like back from the out to in to activate it. And I'll go clockwise. And so that kind of just adds to, I guess you could say, drawing lines, creating like a pyramid. So like on each layer. And then when I come back into the middle on the last one, it'll kind of just concentrate that upwards and out. So I do like to do that as well.
Wow. Okay. That's
I like to add in, sometimes I just flow with my hands and just like, swirl the energy around and send love. I listen to a mantra music when I am doing my grids, and I'm really connected with the goddess Terra, the green Terra. And so I really feel like she's kind of imbued in my grids and like her love and energy. Um, so yeah, and like my galactic family too likes to come through and add extra healing to whoever sees it, because it's really cool to know, like, see like the grids that you're doing, and then like to take pictures of our grids. I feel like it's really helpful because it's like still alive and still like contained
oh
in
yeah.
in the essence. So like when people see it, like some people who maybe don't know about crystals, they feel something and they don't like, oh, like they don't know like why they feel it. So it's really cool because like like I feel like, there's also crystals in our phone. There's like liquid crystals and like the minerals in our phone. So it's like, taking a picture of the crystals and then it's also on our phone. It's like still activated and alive through. So cool.
Like, yeah, it's like right now, like staring at the picture, I can feel like in my mind and my brain, I can feel like, neural networks going off as I'm
Mm.
staring at it. So yeah, it's definitely very alive.
That's why I like using the mats too, because I feel like it creates these ones create like a pyramid structure, or sometimes if I use like the sacred geometry mat, it kind of all works together in synchro. I'm really looking forward to doing more like intuitive ones on like a bigger space too, because I feel like so much um like more galactic symbols come through that are very healing, like almost like light language symbols and stuff like that. So that's really nice that you do that, and I like to do that more.
Yeah, I agree. I like the mat. The mat really brings more of a visual to it too. More of
Mm-hmm.
like a I guess an art to it, so to say. And for like some people, it brings more of that vision instead of them just looking at stones, so to say.
Yeah, it brings alive, I think, some of the etheric, how would I say it? Etheric energetic connections, like the energy that comes out of the crystals and how it connects to each other. It kind of brings that alive, like through the
Yeah,
mat. So like people who might not see it, like when you do just regular crystals on the ground or wherever on a table, it's like kind of connecting that bridge and they can see like, you know, yeah. It also reminds me of kind of like ley lines with the earth. Like it kind of gives the crystals a little bit of like ley lines to work with connecting as well.
yeah. Formation.
Yeah.
Oh, and Tara, that's interesting. Oh my gosh. Yesterday, I was speaking to somebody, and I was driving, and I looked over, and it was just, it was one of those like, look over real quick type of deals. And I looked over, and the street sign said Tara on it, and then I
Wow.
was literally like, oh, whoa, Tara. And I messaged that person back, and I was like, I just saw Tara, and I was like, which dimension of Earth is Terra? And I looked it up, and it's 5D Earth. And I was like, oh, something's clicking right now. Something about the collective right now in 5D Earth. I'm not sure if we just shifted to it on the collective scale.
Oh yeah, it's
But
shifting.
that was something I experienced the other day. So whoever received that message, I had to share. I
I
don't know
love
if it's
that.
true or not.
So my talking about you right now. I have a little banner of hers hung up by our sliding glass door window, and whenever I'm meditating or doing my grids, sometimes I have the sliding glass door open, and the wind will just kind of blow like the middle one towards me, and it's like she's talking to me and she's there. So it's nice.
Oh. So what is this one right here?
Oh,
I've
I
actually
really
never
like.
seen this one.
This is for the divine feminine. So healing. Um, what I do is I will meditate, and when I meditate, things will come to me of is what I'm working on in my life. And then I will send that out for whoever else is working on that energy in their life, and then just for others. And so a big one has been, you know, divine feminine healing and our ancestral maternal healing, and having that kind of universal and galactic love for the feminine essence, and bringing back and anchoring more of that divine feminine on the earth and awakening that within people and within ourselves, finding that balance. So I have ruby there. The dark ruby is the first inner circle. The howlite figure is the divine feminine stone, of the feminine body, and then rose quartz, regular quartz. There's a little bit of let's see, what is that one right there? Do I have opalite in here? Yeah, I have oh no, that's angel aura quartz, little circle spheres. And then kunzite, and amethyst. So yeah, that's I really like. I like sometimes the shaped stones because it gives like a focal point and a directive. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I actually I made a crystal grid like years back, and I used a Goku figure in the center of it as my like Christ conscious figure.
What figure was it?
Goku from Dragon Ball Z.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
it was like an inner child Christ conscious grid, and I just like put Goku in the center of it for me, and then like the crystal grid around
Well,
him.
yeah, I see that those things are powerful because like when we hold memories like that and it means something to us, it really I feel like it amplifies the energy, you know.
Oh
Some
yeah,
people just starting out, and I think it's become a bigger thing. Like if you look on Etsy or just other crystal shop owners, they're selling more, I guess you could say, shaped crystals and stones. And I think that's for people who, you know, might not have the intense galactic association with the stones. And so when they can add that meaning to it, it helps them amplify their grid and stuff, you know.
yeah, yeah. That was like probably one of the most powerful grids I did, just because of like putting my inner child relation into that. That was pretty powerful. So I want to go over this last one too, as well, because when I saw this, I saw a very, very powerful energy behind it, especially when I saw like, finishing soul contracts and all that stuff. And that's extremely powerful. And I'm also interested in what what were you kind of experiencing going into this crystal grid? Because this is like a very major, uh, really major setup here when it comes to the energy and purpose. And it was yesterday. And I felt a lot of like pretty big shifts taking place yesterday as well.
The solar flares coming down from Solaris are
I gotta like
hard.
ground myself.
So yeah, I did this one yesterday. I did a meditation, and I usually like to do a meditation before I do my grids. And the meditation I did was, wow, it was really powerful. It was imagining like a teardrop, and within the teardrop, someone had sent this meditation to me. It's on YouTube, so if you're interested, I can send it to you. And you're within the teardrop, and you
I can put
have
the link in the description as well.
what was that?
I can put the link in the description as well.
Okay, that'd be great. Yeah, it's really powerful to help heal and connect with your inner child and then like your more um, higher angelic self. And so you would go hand in hand and you would meet your inner child and you would hold hands and you would take this crystalline energy and move it upward. And then with every breath, you would keep moving it. And then you would imagine yourself going up through the chakras and each color. You'd be holding hands in this teardrop um, with your more angelic self, and then your like little inner child who came here, like a 7-year-old self, and you feel these feelings of being surrounded by all the chakra colors. So it really helps you kind of figure out what needs to be worked on. And it's kind of a longer meditation, but I felt I was given this crystal by my higher self once I went up to the 12th chakra, past the silver and the golden rays of light. And the crystal is kind of personal to me, so I don't want to like share it entirely with the world, but it was similar to the one that's in this picture in the middle. And kind of the downloads that I got from my galactic family was, you know, closing out these soul contracts and kind of wrapping things up. And I really wanted to use all the mostly raw crystals in this one, um, for the intentional purpose of kind of being, um, I guess you could say, untouched, you know what I mean? And just being in our raw form and loving um, that part of ourselves and releasing the things that don't serve us anymore. Any kind of false light teachings is really important because I think in the spiritual community, there is a lot of that that goes around, and sometimes we can associate or attach to one of those things, and to constantly go in meditation, connect with my higher self, and remind myself, okay, to let go of any of false light teachings that I may not be aware of that I may carry. And I think that's a big thing for the collective, especially in the spiritual community as well. So I wanted to put that out there.
Thank you for doing so. Thank you.
I'm glad it had, you know, that you could feel the power behind it as well. It's really.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I really like the fact that you put mantras as well. And then you always add the fact that it's Reiki infused and guided by, you know, whoever the being is. And, you know, I really honor and respect that. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm always doing the crystal. I do my meditation, and then I always have my my mantra music on that I sing with. And so, you know, each one, each layer of circles is sung with like a mantra. So I feel like anything that I can add to it that makes it a little bit more powerful and adds more quality to it.
I don't know what we can find on here real quick. Just to, like, show people like what templates look like. Like, this stuff's pretty cool.
It's so beautiful.
You get all sorts of sacred geometry templates.
Oh, I like that one.
So that's the heart chakra right there, actually.
Yeah, I'm feeling that.
It looks like they have a rose quartz in the middle. They have quartz around it, and then they have, looks like malachite all around, and then rose quartz on the outside, and then like little pieces of
maybe peridot or something like
that. Maybe
moldavite, peridot. Not sure.
These are all heart chakra stones right here. Oh, nice.
I love that. And let's see if you can hear me. I love that you can get, you know, any size grid if you wanted to. And so you can make a big one intuitively one day, or you can do like a small one, you know, if you feel like you don't have enough time or whatever it may be. But it's visually meditative too. And for some people who I think have a hard time maybe meditating and like their thoughts coming and going, like when you have that focal point and that one point, maybe a center stone that you can look at and concentrate, and just just I feel like it's very helpful sometimes for people to have the visual cues for meditation if they're not into closing their eyes and things like that. It's a bridge.
Definitely is. And I really like this one right here because they have the copper pyramid around it. And if anybody doesn't know, copper is an amplifier of energy. So with having the pyramid around it, it then amplifies all the stones in the pattern that's inside of it. Pretty cool. So now, this is something that I do. Do you place your crystals like around your house in specific places?
Yeah, I do. Where do you like? I like to have sometimes them in like the corners of the house. And then, so, you know, like each corner, and then also the direction, like the 4 directions.
Oh, okay.
How about you?
So typically depends upon the space I'm in, but for example, I keep pretty good EMF neutralizing stones in front of my TV in the living room.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then, and stones that help with that, if people aren't really aware, it could be like black tourmaline, shungite, orgone pyramids, uh, what's another good one? Pyrite, hematite. Those are all pretty good at neutralizing EMF frequencies. And then other places, I usually keep like a quartz crystal on the kitchen table in the middle. And then I love stones so much. Little fun fact too about crystals and me. I'm actually crystal healing certified. I got my certification in 2000 and I think 2019.
Very
And
cool.
it was really interesting too, because in 2018, I was outside walking on a trail, and then I went and sat down by a waterfall, and I had these cards with me, and they were, what deck were they? Shamanic Oracle cards. And I pulled a card, and it was crystals. And it said that basically the Crystal Kingdom was calling to me, and that I was to be like, not like a master of them, but like be a person that primarily shared their energy.
Mm.
And then ever since it's just like taken off with that type of energy.
Yeah, I feel like it comes very, very natural to you. I definitely know that this is not your first lifetime using them. That's for sure.
I'll probably say the same with you as well.
Yeah.
Maybe like Atlantis, Lemuria.
Yep.
That's a whole nother topic right there.
Your topic.
But back to where I place my crystals around my home. Um, so yeah, like kitchen table. So bathroom. The bathroom, I'll usually put something more heart based, like a rose quartz, maybe around the sink somewhere. And now the bedroom. The bedroom is where it gets like
The
really
bedroom, where it's at.
really multi-dimensional in there. um, so underneath my bed, I used to do this. I used to keep chakra stones, like a stone for each chakra underneath my bed.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore, but I do keep what is a smoky quartz hematite phantom matrix. Well, not phantom matrix.
Woo, that's powerful. You protected.
Oh, let me go get
You
it.
are astrally protected.
Oh, it's called an celestial. That's right. Okay.
Oh wow, that's a nice chunk.
So yeah, it's a smoky quartz hematite celestial.
Oh wow, that's kind of like a slab too. It's really interesting cut. I like that. So do you place it, do you have a space under your bed that you place it like under?
So it's I put it at the feet of my bed
Oh, okay.
on the ground. So then what that is doing is pretty much anchoring and protecting from like the Earth star up.
Mm.
Yeah, because everything's a grid, you know. Your
Yeah.
bedroom's a grid. Your whole house is a grid. So
Yeah.
set your intention, place the stones, boom. And
Yes.
then I also keep a amethyst and copper underneath my pillow to
Okay.
help with like intuitive dream, all that type of stuff. And
Yeah, you
then
this under my pillow too. That's a big one.
yeah, I put copper there to amplify it and
That's
help kind of like regenerate and heal all that type of stuff.
I'm gonna have
Copper's
to
great.
know.
And then I guess the final thing I usually do is, this is a pretty good one that I intuitively learned, was uh, my windowsill. I keep selenite in my windowsill.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I have a big slab of it, and I actually just got more selenite the other day.
Like
And I've
we
given them
just
selenite.
barrier lines. We
Oh
just
wow,
barrier lines basically.
yeah, I like that. I wonder. I actually might put some in my bath. Well, it's hard because the selenite with the water, the steam and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
um, I like to protect like with the portals, like mirrors are portals, and our phone has portal through it for
For
if
bathtub, good stones for that type of stuff would be like hematite.
that'd be a good one.
Yeah, because those ones can be in water for a long time and stuff.
I have to try that. I wanna take more baths with my crystals.
I do it every time. I typically get a grounding one, and then I'll get like a regular quartz, and then I'll get like a angelic or high energy stone.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna message you after this, and so we can talk about that. That's something I've actually been working on is like a collection for my bathroom, like the bathtub area.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
I'm
we can talk
interested
about
in
that.
it. Yeah, I have an altar in my living room, and then I have a altar mostly like rose quartz and organite, and then I have some organite out here for my bedroom. I used to have crystals under my bed, but now our bed's like on the floor, so I don't have that anymore. But I want to figure something else out. I've also heard from a few crystal shop owners that people who have problem with maybe entities in their house or anything like that, um, they've heard like with protection to like they would get like a bag somehow and they would literally like hang it up in the corners of their house and it would have like shungite in it mixed with maybe rose quartz, and that would help with protection.
You can get like little medicine pouches and hang them up.
Yes, yeah, something like that. So I've talked to a few people doing that. That's helped with protection as well.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I keep selenite in my windowsill, and then I actually have like so it's like selenite, and then in front of the selenite I have little pieces of amethyst and rose quartz just like in a pattern.
Oh, I like that. See, I got to figure something out because my children will be like, I like they have crystals that they play with, but they'll be moving stuff around and
Yeah, definitely.
so I have to get really creative with it. Like, that's why I'm thinking about these pouches up high.
Yeah. I also put selenite on my so like you know how doors they have like right above it, it's just like a very small amount of ledge. I usually put a piece of selenite right there.
Ooh, okay. You're giving me so many ideas. I love this.
Yeah. And then like the kitchen area, like if you use stones, that's good for like like healing energies and like I guess solar plexus would be good too because solar plexus deals with like digestion and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I have like stones that are good for that. Kind of
That's a
like
great point.
stuff like carnelian probably because like I guess when you're in the kitchen when you're eating you kind of want to be building up that self-esteem energy and all that like yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a lot of ideas right now.
I know. I'm really liking this.
So how much longer do you have?
Let's see. We got 12:30, maybe like 10 more minutes. Did you want to talk about the crystals and maybe like when they break?
Oh yes, crystals when they break. Okay, so you were asking me about this earlier and such a great question because there's been so many times I've experienced this, and at first I was really confused. It was like a scared confused too. It was like, oh, like is this really bad? Crystals breaking. And I've come to find out that there's definitely a ton of different reasons why, and it really depends on the type of situation and type of energy in that time. And what I've found during like I guess what you'd say positive experiences is sometimes you get to the point of becoming healed enough or obtaining enough light with that stone or crystal that you pretty much part ways with it. And parting ways with it is basically the stone breaking because of the capacity of energy in it. And then it served its purpose, and then you continue forward without it. And then it's just, it's spirit basically, or returns to you in a different form.
Mm.
And then I've also had those cases where, things were kind of just negative and dark and just not very well. And it's kind of interesting, but I found like when I wasn't breaking out of my patterns and I was continuing to get stuck in the patterns, the protection stone that I had, I think it was a hematite ring. Yeah, it was a hematite ring. So like I was not like doing the things that I knew I should have been doing to break the patterns I was in. And after a while, the hematite ring just broke off of my finger.
Wow.
And it stopped serving its energy with me.
Wow.
Because I wasn't, basically fulfilling my end of my relationship with it.
Mm. Yeah, the relationships with them is very interesting too. It's like, I feel when I'm working with crystals that they're like, high energy beings that deserve like respect, It's not something to just, they're not just, colorful rocks that are pretty. Like I see them as like advanced spiritual beings, kind of like that have that essence. And so I like to be very like respectful when I'm working with them. And so yeah, that was that. I've had them vibrate out of my reality. I've had a few, break, and like you said, I definitely think it depends on like the circumstance and the energy of the situation in which it happens as to what it means to you, and to like actually meditate on that, like when it happens, and so you can know how to better go about working with them.
Absolutely. And that's actually something I touched upon in my first episode. The intro is basically the science behind crystals, um, the spiritual context of, the spirit behind them, and the history of the ancient use of crystals on this planet. And it's it's really fun stuff to learn about, especially when you learn about. So this kind of goes back into the Kabbalion. Are you familiar with the Kabbalion? The Hermetic principles.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. But so one part of the Kabbalion is they talk about the law of correspondence. Law of correspondence deals with multidimensional realities, how there's different planes of existence. So it goes into the different subplanes of the planes and all that stuff. And some of the subplanes are the planes of the plant mind, the animal mind, the human mind, and the mineral mind.
Mm.
The mineral mind is where crystals and their spirit mind dwell. And it's actually in the Kabbalion, like you can read about it. And it'll also be visually shown in the intro first episode as well. But it's really interesting because when you start developing the awareness that they are consciousness, that they are spiritual beings, and basically these crystals right here are their two-dimensional body, then it really kind of it opens your sensory up to another level of understanding. And you can actually start to feel like within your heart and stuff, when you're connecting with them, you can feel their energy, you can feel their what's the word? I don't even know what the word would be, but you could feel their passion, you know?
Yeah, it's like telepathy too, you know. They talk
Mm-hmm.
energetically. Same thing with stones and rocks and
About to
stuff.
be in my eye right now.
Oh, that's so beautiful. No, I so feel you. Yeah. Crystals mean a lot to me. And so like I like having, I'm glad that you're doing, I'm very grateful. I just want to express my gratitude that you're having, you know, these conversations and putting this on your YouTube because I would love for more people to understand and understand that that they're beings, you know, and so it's more than just, you know, crystals and rocks and that kind of stuff. Like they're actually very important to me, just like an animal or an insect. So I really hold that value, and I really I trust them with parts of myself that I wouldn't just trust with anyone. So that's why they're like very special and unique.
Wow, that's
And
good.
yeah. So thank you for doing this. And um yeah, I'm really grateful for that. It's important. It's important work.
Yeah. And the best part of it is fun, you know? It's not even that serious, and it's just good information to help people live better. And thank you for aligning with that, you know? Thank you for living that and being an embodiment of that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, considering me, you know. Um just to have like these casual conversations, these casual sacred conversations. That's really what they are. I think more people need to be having more casual sacred conversations about these kind of things to really like tap into other parts of themselves that still are remembering, you know?
Yeah.
And like I like how you mentioned about it in the mineral kingdom, how like because also the Egyptians used and they placed certain stones on like the forehead to help them pass through the next life and incarnation, and like that it being the mineral kingdom, that's kind of like also in addition to its spiritual purposes serves as like a gateway, and yeah, just like the powers behind it. I've also heard that like Cleopatra had crushed like malachite and other things, and that's how she like used her makeup and
Wow.
added to the energetic and spiritual properties of it. And even actually, and it wasn't just Egyptians, I think also certain Chinese rulers also were lined with buried with jade.
Wow.
She was a big one too. So like if we look back far enough, there is significance. There's reasons why our ancestors used these, and it's coming to light again.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I wanted to kind of like touch upon before we wrapped up was crystal jewelry. And what's your favorite crystal jewelry?
Oh boy. I have a lot of favorites, but I do have a favorite one that's a mala. It's a mala beaded crystal necklace, and it's layered with different kinds. And it's got copper in it too, and it's got rose quartz, and it just reminds me of like Atlantean times, and kind of has priestess energy in it. I think these ones right here, a stone in it somewhere. Let me see this one. This way.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's this way. I don't know if you can see. Oh yeah, right there.
Right there.
But yeah, I think it adds to our energy throughout the day, and that and like organite or organ necklaces and things like that also.
Yep. And then bracelets, all that stuff. But I guess that will be it for this episode.
Yeah,
And
my babies came in.
thank you. What's that?
My babies came in, so
Oh, look at that. Perfect. All right. Well, I want to thank you for hopping on again. And I'm sure we'll have some other episodes again about some other stuff too.
yeah, these do like these are so much fun to do, and I really enjoy talking about these and like making deeper connections. Maybe on another one we could do like dive into how like Atlantean times and how they use them and other cultures like that. That would be super cool.
For sure. And then maybe another time we could do like a self care one too. Just talk about like self care, like how to take care of ourselves and all that.
I like that. Yeah, and I would love to hear about your grand risings routine and
Oh
how
yeah, for
how
sure.
I think it would be really cool and to um kind of have a crystal and like set your intention for the day in it and have it, on your dining room table so you're like reminded of that, or like even setting your jewelry with intentions as you wear it throughout the day just helps as a sacred light reminder, of your essence. And it's important for us to kind of remember, like, even if we feel like weak or disempowered, or we go through some kinds of emotions that doesn't feel like we're living in our truth, or we feel like we did something that was out of alignment, like having that jewelry on us or having those crystals with those intentions and like seeing that as a visual representation, and like their sacred light uh, mentor and masters of beings, it just like reminds us to like come back to center.
Yeah.
So I feel like that could be helpful for people like throughout their day, and if they become more aware of that as well.
Exactly. And you can go to a local crystal shop to get crystal stones and bracelets and all that stuff. Or you can even order online. There's a lot of Etsy's and people out there. You can just type in crystal jewelry or just crystals online.
Yes. Oh, I also wanted to share that the mats that are in my crystal grids, that if anyone wants one, to message me because I have extra and I'm selling them. And like I talked to you before, Marcus, I'm also going to be making like painted mandala grids as well. So
Wow, that's awesome. Well, I'll definitely be sure to post you want your Instagram and Facebook down there?
yeah, I'll link it. I'll send it all for you.
Okay. Yep. And I'll go ahead and put those in the description on the YouTube channel for you guys.
So
All right, Maya. Thank you again for the lovely conversation.
other
Thank you for your
things.
time. And I will connect with you soon.